Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back.
Welcome back. What
What's
up, B?
Hey, hey, Elle. How are you?
Good. Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday, indeed. How's everything going?
Well, it's snowing here. It's snowing and hailing. So yeah, it's coming down. That was I didn't anticipate that today because my plans were to go outside and take down the Christmas decorations. But clearly that's not happening today.
Oh, wow. Yeah, the weather around these parts of the U.S., the United States of America, as it is in for my Haitian people. Yeah, the weather's been kind of weird on this East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Away from, yeah, it's been a little it's been a little weird, but hey, I mean, global warming, I guess. I don't know what it is, but yeah, the weather has been a little bit drastic.
Mm-hmm.
But it is the season. Tis the season,
Yes, tis
you
the
know.
season.
Yeah.
Um, D Lyman crew, let us know what you've been up to this week in the chat.
Yes, 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 yes,
Let's
yes.
see.
We're just gonna give people some time to come on. Thank you for joining us on this is Shared Saturday. We're just gonna recap basically our season seven launched, and our episode 81 dropped on Thursday. So we're just gonna
Mhm.
talk about that and any questions that not any question. Just talk about the episode.
Not 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 any question.
Not any question. I didn't think about that one.
Not
But
not.
if you listen to the episode and you want to, this question you want to share, the episode was Queen Dreams, and we talked about basically our mother's dreams, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? What did they carry with them from, coming from the Caribbean to the United States? And, we're just going to talk about our favorite parts of the episode and what we got out of it. And then, like I said, questions that you have, we'll go from there, what we learn and what do we take moving forward. All right. Please let us know again if you are from the Caribbean. Where are you listening from? Where are you representing? Even if you're not, if you're in the U.S., just let us know. We would love to shout you out. But hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. So what's been going on with you, Elle? I see. Besides the snow and the hail and everything else happening, how was your week? How do you feel?
I actually feel good this week. Last week I was under the weather. This week I feel really good.
Mm-hmm.
I got to catch up on some stuff, and it's the beginning of the year. I like to also get rid of stuff. If you haven't touched it in the last 6 months in your house, then get rid of it. I'm
Yes.
on that tip. So yeah.
Yeah. It is a good purging. And I was before we got on, y'all, I was on a rant with Elle. And I mean, while people are getting on, we're just gonna chat it up for, about 5 minutes or so. And yes, I feel like people need to go through a self-purging.
Oh boy. Oh
I
boy.
just feel like people need to, because when people say, and I know there's a lot going on in the world, and I know there's a lot of emotions, a lot of feelings, a lot of you know mental, physical, spiritual, whatever the whole thing. I think our psyche is a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
needs a little bit balanced. But I feel like 2025 ended hot. And I feel like I thought, okay, well, since 2025 ended hot, maybe 2026 people are like, okay, let me woosah, let me drink cold water to put this little hot fire out. No, I feel like people just guzzled gasoline and coming in hotter.
Not gasoline. Not that. Maybe there's some people who actually got rest over the holidays. Maybe.
Maybe, but I'm not
Well, I don't
I'm
know.
not maybe they're staying inside because I'm not encountering those people.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Encountering
I'm
these.
sorry.
And I mean, if you're one of these people that you did get some rest and you feel the way that I feel, because I've talked to several, colleagues and friends of mine, and we all under the same kind of conclusion that people are coming in just, and again, understandable that there's been a lot going on in the world, understandable, but at the same time, I feel like be kind to people in a
It's
way. You
so
know,
easy to be kind. It's so
it
easy because at the end of the day, you're not gonna take any of this with you. You can't
is.
take anything with you. You can't take the people with you.
Mhm,
So at the end of the day, the one thing you can do, because people always remember how you made them feel, it's just
mhm.
to be kind. It's easier to
Right,
be kind, but
right.
uh that's a little difficult for some people.
It is.
It is.
And I feel like especially when you go to places that people provide a service or you encounter people, even if you go into a place and people are giving you service, just be mindful that people have a lot going on and don't go in with entitlement. Understand that it's a human business that you go to. People are human. Even though they're providing a job to their best of their
Ability.
capability, yeah,
Hmm.
they're still human, so
Hmm.
give grace for that. And I just feel like unless the person is really incompetent and really is being nasty and really just, but I feel for the most part it's rare occasions where you meet people that are like that. So there, I feel like there's just right now no excuse because we all on the same boat. We all are dealing with the same kind of shenanigan and nonsense from the world, so we all process differently. So just when you come in, just come on now, people. Just my
Yeah.
thoughts and opinion, but
Hmm. Yeah.
we've given people a few times. So again, welcome to Unfiltered Liming podcast. My name is well, I'm B, the Haitian sensation.
And I'm L, Lisa, the Dominica diva.
Yes. So welcome to our podcast. If you're not following us, please like, share, follow, help the algorithm do its thing. So
Mhm.
that way we can bring you more content like this. And if you have any content or topics that you would like us to talk about for future
Mhm.
live, we are please feel free to share. Only positivity, disclaimer, the topics that we talk about, the experience that we talk about are in no way reflection of fact. They're not factual. These are things that we experience being first generation. These are perspective or thoughts, and yeah, just disclaimer, don't be taking what we're saying as concrete, solid, whatever. We are not expert, we're not doctors, we're not therapists, we're not none of the above. These
Yeah.
are just conversation that we're having based on conversation we have with our friends, our family, and like-minded people that have experience or come from almost the same background that we have. Okay, so on that note, hey, on that note, I just want to set the tone. It's only
Yeah.
positivity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
positively only.
Yes,
Only.
yes. So we are trying something new. Like I said at the beginning, we have dropped our first episode of the season 7. And episode is 81. If you have not listened, you could listen on all your listening platform. You could also subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, whatever your little ears likes to listen to.
Yeah.
Subscribe, leave us a review, positivity. And yeah, we'll go from there. So we're trying Share It Saturday, which is Thursday we drop a new episode, and we're gonna try to come almost every Saturday. But if not, maybe once a month or whatever. We're gonna try to come on Saturday and kind of like recap the episode, what we liked, what we didn't like, what you guys' comments were, and go from there. It's
Yeah.
called Share It Saturday.
Mhm. So also too, the episode this week was called Island Girl Dreams.
Mhm,
And this whole season is about women. We're
mhm,
highlighting women during this season. So this is definitely a good time to chime in because we're coming up next is what? End of January. Martin Luther King's birthday's coming up, and then we
mhm,
have Black History Month.
mhm,
So Women's History Month coming up. So
mhm.
we're gonna be covering it all season. So we
Yes.
look forward to that.
And one of the reasons why we are doing this is because being from the Caribbean, being that I represent Haiti, because my family is from Haiti. I have Haitian, of course, background and culture. And Lisa is Dominica. There are times, again, these conversation is basically to help us understand who we are, the experiences, whether they were good, bad, and difference of where we come from, and how do we move forward to make sure that we are getting closer together as a people. Because as many times as we think, oh, we're different. And I think for me, a lot of time it becomes discouraging when, as a people, we just divide ourselves, but then we
Yeah.
realize we're so similar,
We
right? That's how
are. We
that's how this.
so are. I mean, that's one thing I feel like the division for
Mhm.
2025, the division. I mean, yeah, we got to work better on that, you know?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the one of the mission of our podcast is, to have the conversation to help us bridge the gap between, bringing us together, and also the contribution that, Caribbean people or diaspora have had on just, the African American culture, and how the African American culture has had also influence on the Caribbean and diaspora. So just everything that makes us who we are, to literally have a conversation so we could just come together and move us as a people forward
Hmm.
instead of dividing. And also, we are speaking from a woman's perspective this season because we are women, and I feel like there's been a lot of, again, this is, we don't do politics, but there's been a lot of attacks on women and black women, black men, all these type of conversation. And a lot of times the conversation about women,
Hmm.
or conversation that men are having about women.
Yeah. It's sad.
And I'm not saying that men can't have conversation and put in opinions about it, but I feel like it's an opinion and perspective. Just like for me, because of my experiences with men, I can have an opinion, but I can't speak as though I'm making choices, or the things that I'm saying or fact, because I don't have a penis.
That part.
If you don't have a vagina, if you don't have breath, like, you understand, there's just certain conversation. And again, I'm not talking for the people that are, transitioning or whatever. There's a lot of different things. I'm just talking about in general, people conversation about a certain group of people. A lot of times that group should have a louder voice
Hmm.
in the conversation.
Yes.
And that's all I'm saying. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be somebody that doesn't have the parts or whatever. That's the louder voice in making the decision,
No,
and also making us feel like we're second class citizen, because
no.
women contribute a lot to our society. Women is, in all aspects. I mean, technically, the reason why society exists is because we
Hmm.
birthed it.
Yeah.
Last I checked.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And you know what, also too, to piggyback on what you're saying, there's also a whole nother movement that's going on. It's so funny. One of my coworkers was telling me about this called the red pill, blue pill, or whatever. And it's a whole movement to actually, there's women that want to take women back to
Take women back to what?
to being in the house barefoot and pregnant. No
See,
rights.
see,
They
I'm
want
not.
that I don't understand, because I feel like our ancestors and our mothers, grandmothers and great grandmothers worked so hard to get us to
Mhm.
where we are, to be able to stand today. And then there's a whole group of people that want to. It's one thing when it's a group of men that want to take us back, but when it's a group of women that want to take us back, that's I don't understand that. I don't. How
I
does that
kind of
benefit you? How does that benefit you as a person in this
I
way?
kind of do understand it, but only because I'm one of those people. Everybody should have a choice in life.
Okay.
If that is what you want to do,
Mm-hmm.
yes, I don't feel we should push any agenda to anybody, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be a mother, if you want to be, barefoot and pregnant, if you want to be traditional, that's you, that's fine. I think it's needed. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's needed for the people that's like, yo, I don't want to have a career. I want to love my family. I want to be a homemaker. Power. I think it's needed. So for me, that's what I said. The conversation should not be, oh my gosh, okay, there's space for them and there's space for us. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have to choose, because at
Yeah.
the end of the day, let's be very honest. I've been married and I've worked in corporate America. If I have a husband that's like, yo, boo, you ain't got to lift a finger, and that is my choice, that I want to give him 10 babies,
Then
and
that's your
I got
choice.
that's
That's your
my,
choice.
that's what I'm saying.
That
So
is
my thing is,
that is
it's
your
just like
choice.
to make people feel like it's wrong that they want to have a career and they want to be a boss ass chick, but then if they want to be a homemaker, or if they want a combination of both, let it be. That's the part for me that I feel like is so extreme
Mhm.
that people feel the need that women have. We don't have to choose in 2026,
No, you
people.
don't. You don't. You know, you're right about that. You don't have to
You
choose.
don't.
You are, I feel like you should be able to walk in your greatness, walk in whatever
Right.
light that you want. Just don't push it on other people and don't look down on other people because of the choices that
Correct.
they made. That's
Correct.
all. That's
That's
it.
the
It's point
part.
blank period. Is that period. That's it.
Correct. That simple. And I think yeah, that's the part for me. Sorry. That's the part for me that I feel like, again, division. And for what
Mhm.
reason?
Mhm. Yeah.
For what
Why are we
reason?
doing that? Ugh.
Yeah, but that's where we are. A little
Mhm.
bit about the season. Again, tell us how you feel. Um, because these conversations have always happened, and I think sometimes as women we carry. I feel like that's one part too that I feel like we carry that with us.
Mhm.
Like, if you do want to have a career, but then you kind of like put your family in the background because you want to have a career, then you're condemned because you're choosing your career. But then if you're a mother, well, oh my gosh, our ancestors fought for us to have it's like, damn if you don't and damn if you do. But then I feel like, again, men and women are built differently, but why is it such a pressure for women to have to choose? If you're able to balance the two and pick or choose one or the other, why do women always have to make other women feel like, oh my gosh, you want to have a career? You don't want to stay home with your
Yeah,
husband?
that
Oh
that
my
part.
God, you want
That
to
part.
just be barefoot and like,
That part. That's what we have to stop. We have to stop that. We have to stop that. Because just like tying into the episode this that just came out 81 is Island Girl Dreams.
mhm,
It's about our parent, even our mothers came up here from the islands and they had dreams. There
mhm.
was things that they wanted to do, and you shouldn't be shamed for those dreams that you have and those
Mhm.
aspirations. You shouldn't be shamed for that.
Because I feel like that's where kind of like Lisa's and Nine's stories and our parents are a little bit different. Because my mom, I feel like when she came here, my sister and I were still in Guadeloupe. And Guadeloupe is a French colony island. For those that don't know, it's not Guadeloupe, it's Guadeloupe. It's in the Lesser Antilles, by Dominica. Puerto Rico, with like all the little small island, Martinique. That's where Guadalupe is. That's where I was born and raised. And before I came here, so my mom came here first, and she came for the work aspect of it. Right? She was with my dad. They had 2 kids. They were married. She came first to kind of like settle herself, and she came for the opportunity of career. You know what I'm saying? Making money and stuff like that. She was already married, but I think she wanted to set the tone,
Mhm.
and she had a lot of family members here too, like telling her the American dream, you know what I mean? You could come and you could do this and all this other stuff. So she came um, with that aspect. And I feel like my dad followed too with the aspect of, oh, because back in the day when my mom came, when did my mom come? I don't know the year. Maybe I want to say before the 90s, maybe right before the 90s. So 89, maybe 89, something like that. 89, 88. So right before the 90s, she came. And I felt like when she didn't flee because of political, right? She didn't flee because of whatever that most
She
people
didn't flee.
run.
She came here
Right.
on her own free will
Right.
because she
So
wanted a different life. Yeah.
Right. So she came with literally America was the opportunity for, okay, I could come here. I have a lot of family members telling me that I can make money. You know what I mean? I could do this. I could bring my kids here. They could have an opportunity, whatever. Because it's not like Guadeloupe, not trying to be funny. It's another French thing. Guadeloupe is not, before COVID, it wasn't, an island that was going through anything. It's a beautiful island,
Mhm.
peaceful island. So it wasn't like, oh my gosh, there was not opportunity. To tell you the truth, the education to me over there was better. So it's not like they were complaining about that, but it was more or less of she had family members here that were telling her, hey, there's opportunities. What those opportunities are, I don't know. I think for me, listening to her, I feel like my mom was pressured
Mm.
to come here because there's conversations that I have and she could have take it or leave it. Like if she had a choice, I felt like she probably would have stayed in Guadeloupe. And but because she had like brothers and people telling her, oh no, come here, blah, 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 blah. To me, I felt like that because my mom loved to travel. And when she came here, it was a different aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
It was very different than what I think she anticipated
Yeah.
because she talks about it sometimes. Like when
Mhm.
you don't speak English, you come here and you're starting over. The freedom that she had in Guadeloupe to the freedom that she lost, I feel, even though she's coming to the land of opportunity and freedom, it was different.
Mhm.
It was very different. So
Yeah.
yeah. What about you?
I think my mom initially she went to Canada.
Mm-hmm.
She initially went to Canada. She had her friends. They all went together. Got themselves established. But then my dad came to the US. So once they got married in Canada, they came back to the US because my dad at that point he had went to school. He got a good job. So at that point, she came here. But my mom, she went to work too, because they were a unit. Like we're gonna go and we're gonna build and we're gonna dream together. So
Mm-hmm.
um my parents were very like they're gonna do it together.
Mm-hmm.
So their dream was to come to this country, live a little better lifestyle. I don't think they had grandiose dreams
Mm-hmm.
besides just having a family and making ends meet, and then also being able to send back for you their family
Mm-hmm.
and bring them up to the states, sponsor them to come up to the states. So I think that's their goals. It wasn't, grand. It was just about the family, taking care of the family, bringing up the family, sending money back home. That's what it was for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and my mom worked all the way till retirement. She always made sure, like, anytime all the cousins got together, it was always fun and games. And I know she had a nickname of Susie Q. She was
Okay.
always either sewing or, doing
Mhm.
something for the kids, and all the kids get together, activities. So yeah.
That's good.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, my parents were already, and that's where like the road, and I know a lot of Haitian may relate. Is my mom again came here first, then we were kind of like left with family members, or close family,
Mhm.
friends of my mom, and for a few years in Guadeloupe, and then my dad all of a sudden came, and then it was so funny because recently, and I talk about this in the episode, there are certain conversations, if our parents allow us, we should have with them. Because
Mm.
my mom expressed to me, I think a couple of weeks ago, when I was talking to her, and you got to pick the crumbs when they lay it because they don't always,
Mm-mm.
lay crumbs. So you just got to sometimes just be like, what you, but not be
Yeah.
too excited. So you got to be inside, like, oh, but then on the outside,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's how you got to do with them.
That's how you have to get the information out of them, because they were not
Yeah.
very like, we're gonna sit down and divulge everything. No. You gotta
Mhm.
grab the little nuggets, like you said, the little crumbs, and then try to
Mhm.
elaborate on it.
And trying to make a
If
bread
you
or trying
if
to
you
piece it
do,
together.
you're lucky.
Yeah.
Very lucky if you do.
Yeah, but I
Right.
feel like when I was talking, having a conversation with her, she was informing me that the plan was, like I mentioned, for her to come and kind of like get things established
Mhm.
because she was more flexible based on what she was doing in Guadeloupe to come here. My dad had like a more stable job or whatever in Guadeloupe, right? So it was like you don't want to leave a stable job, and then so that's why she came, because she was flexible and all of that. But when she came, I don't think it took one year later my dad came. And when I came to the US, they were not together. living together. So I always wonder, like, well, what happened or whatever. And then he did pop up in the picture a few years after we got here, but it was very odd because, didn't explain to us what happened. But then
They never do.
recently,
Never do.
yeah, but recently she told me that the plan was for her to come here, get established a little bit, and then for my dad, my sister, and I to come all together.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, he messed up the plan. He didn't stick to the plan.
That's the part. That part. Sticking to the plan. Oh my
So,
gosh.
like you said, there. I do think like how your parents like kept together your unit. I'm not exactly sure why my dad did not stick to the plan or the goal, but I feel like that's where sometimes the difference. Like your parents stuck to the goal. They knew together. And I feel like it goes back to a lot of times as married couples sometimes. For me, in what I perceive with my mom, that kind of like set her whole goal and what she thought was going to happen differently. Because if you have a plan with your husband to say, hey, you and the kids stay, I'm going to kind of like get us set, and then you guys come together, and that doesn't happen, that messes up your whole. Now you have to re-strategize because what you thought was going to happen didn't. So I feel like for me, my mom had a dream and goals of how things should look, and it took her longer to accomplish because my dad messed up the plan. I love him. God, like, rest in peace. He passed away when I was very young, but you messed up the plan, sir. So now somebody's dream is different. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people that are coming from the island, if your partner or your husband or people come first, I think sometimes people don't really have, my opinion, you may have a dream and a goal, and if you have to communicate, and maybe you could talk about it. How did your parents keep with the communication to make the goal happen? Did they how do you think that
Girl, I was not privy to that information. Now you asking for a lot. No,
based on their relationship, though, like what can you tell, like based just on your perception and their relationship?
Well, based on my perception, they were very like their relationship comes first, to the point that they even told us their relationship comes first before the kids, before us. So once you put your relationship first, then yeah, I mean, you have times you talk. I mean, probably when they went to bed at night, they had their conversations and stuff and their plans and what they were going to do. And then also too, you got to have a partner also too that's going to carry the weight. You got to have a partner that carries the weight. You got to have a partner that's going to be like, I see where you're sinking. Let me pick up the pieces over here because I got your back. You got to have a partner that does that. You got, I mean, just like on any team, right? It's a team. If you see your team member over here lagging or having a rough day, you got to be able to pick it up. That's why I don't understand why people say relationships 50-50. There's no such thing as 50-50.
True.
There's no such thing, right? Somebody, even at work, somebody's lagging over, you got to pick up over here on this side.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, well, we deal with that all the time. So actually, that should actually transition very well to your personal life, for real. But I'm just saying, I think that also too is having a great partner that sees like, hey, we're drowning, we're lacking in here in this area. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the ball and run with it, so you can get an opportunity to regroup or whatever. So I think for them, they were just very like operated like a team.
Yeah. And I think that's the difference. I feel like with my parents, because even the moments that I remember them in Guadeloupe, again, I was way younger. I felt like I saw them work together as a team in Guadeloupe.
In Guadeloupe. It's when it
Yeah.
got here, things got muddled.
Right, because again, he came, messed up the plan, and then want to pop back up. And some of my Haitian people could attest to that. So the friction was already there. And again, her not expressing herself to be like whatever. And again, the pressure of the reason how he got back into our life was not because of her choice, but she was listening to her elders, her great great uncle, like, oh, the kids need their father, whatever, whatever. My mom was good because again, he messed up the plan. She had to figure it out. By the time she figured it out, we're together. Now he's popping back up. She's again going against her woman thing where she's like, no, I've been good. He messed up the plan. I'm good to continue. She welcomes him back. Then he leaves again. So you understand what I'm saying? So there's a lot of like transition. And again, my mom is a go-getter. She's gonna do what she want to do. But it goes back to sometimes if you make a plan with someone, you have dreams and goals, because I could attest to that being divorced. You build conversation with somebody. You're like, we're a unit, we're this and we're that. And the person completely says, I know we had this plan, but I no longer want to continue. I no longer like you, or I no longer want to, make the dreams and the goals that we talked about.
We got to prepare. We got to be able to pivot, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We got to be able to pivot.
Right.
But it is nice to know that you have a dream together and you actually a goal.
Right.
And you see it through.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are for the lucky and the blessed, the fortunate. I don't know, the lucky. I don't know what you want to call it.
Right.
Yeah.
And like you said, you have to be able to have the dream and the goals. But again, the dream and the goal, like when you're coming from the island to when you come here, a lot of times people don't prepare you to the reality of what it is, because you're overcoming things like, yeah, you could be around family, but you're going into a world, or if you again, I can speak to my mom. She didn't speak the language, right? So my dad, they didn't speak the language when they got here. So you have to learn a new culture, learn the language, and then adapt. In comparison, when she was to Guadeloupe, again, they were flexible. They understood the language. They were able to move around. It was just better for her to. But here, again, the goal change. Yeah, it was harder. So I think some of her dreams that, again, us being with her was probably one goal or dream that she accomplished. But the other one, I feel there were quite a few things, because there was trauma that she carried with her.
That's a whole other animal.
Correct. So then those trauma came out, and because it came out, I'm pretty sure there was quite a few dreams and goals when it came to us, because then you are putting your dreams and goal on your kids, right? So there were dreams and goals that she had for us that we were like, we want to do our own thing. We don't want to just be.
That's another thing too. Your kids are not your own, right? So that's another thing.
So I feel like I do, in my perception, I feel like there probably are a little bit of disappointments or different things that my mom wanted to accomplish. But like you said, she's had to pivot a whole lot. Will she talk about it? I don't know, but I do feel like things would have been different. Like you said, if my dad stuck to, yeah, we're a unit, we're going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then that probably would have changed the trajectory of where my sister and I, certain decisions that we made and certain things that we made. And maybe she wouldn't have been so focused on us, you know what I mean, at that point, because she had my dad. So I do feel like some of her dreams were
rerouted,
right? And she wasn't able to accomplish it.
I'm sure my mom had some other personal dreams that I'm not privy to that she would have liked to accomplish.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure there is that I'm just not privy to. Because then that's another thing also we talk about our culture is that elders, they don't speak. It's the American culture where we're expressing ourselves. Let's sit down and talk about it. Let's talk about our emotions. How does this make me feel? No, none of that was going on.
Yeah.
None of that. Oh, you feel some kind of way? Just go take a dip in the ocean. You'll be better.
Yeah.
Go to the Sulphur Springs. You'll feel better.
Yeah.
So,
sorry. Yeah. I agree with you. So yeah, the episode basically talked about that. It talked about our mother's dream, From your perception, what are some of the dreams that you think that your mother sacrificed, and any mothers? Because I do feel at the end of the day, we all sometimes when we do have kids, or sometimes when we don't have kids,
We
we
make
don't.
sacrifices. We make sacrifices every
Right,
day.
right. We
Kids or
don't
no
always,
kids. Yeah.
yeah, we don't always consider ourselves
Mhm.
first, because sometimes that can seem selfish or whatever. But I do think, you got to be realistic. You got to have a
Mhm.
plan. You got to write it down. And if it changes, like Lisa said, pivot. And also understanding that they carry trauma with them, right? They
Yeah.
carry not only the trauma that they experience coming here, because I'm pretty sure, um, because when I came here, I didn't speak English, right? So I learned, but again, I was a kid, so I was able to learn pretty quickly. So I could not imagine being in a country and working in a country and not being able to actually understand everything that's happening and able to communicate what's happening. So there's another level of immigrant just trauma in that aspect of it, that you have to depend on people to help you, right?
Yeah,
So
that part.
sometimes.
Because then people are not as friendly as we think, or honest,
Mhm.
right? Or have
Right.
the best intentions.
Right, right. And you have to remember that, um yeah, there's that aspect of it. And then there's traumas that they carry from their childhood,
Mhm.
across the waters, and trying to navigate these jungles, and depending on where they land, depending if they have support, they don't have support. There's a lot of different things to consider. So the episode, basically, we just talked about, um those kind of things, and how we took those lessons, basically, and have applied it to our lives. So,
Mhm.
listen to the episode, let us know what you
Yeah.
think. It was a great episode. But
Yeah, and share it, and
mhm.
we'll continue the conversation in the comments, and
Yes,
so that
yes,
would be great.
yes, definitely. So I think I have one. Um, yeah. What is one way you are living louder this weekend?
Mm.
Whether it's reclaiming your peace, starting that project, or just making up more space, drop it in the comments. What is one thing that you are doing? What's one thing, Lisa, that you're doing to live louder?
For me, I don't know if it's this weekend, but I'm definitely putting myself in a mindset to put my put myself first.
Mm,
Yeah, put
mhm,
myself first. Continue with planning, writing things down, keeping
mhm,
myself accountable.
mhm,
Um and just, I know it's still January, but and we're in the new year, but it's still a continued work in progress.
mhm.
Yeah. Going through bills and getting rid of all those extra subscriptions that you don't need.
You're the second person in my circle that said that. That's so
That,
funny. That's doing that.
that's how I'm living louder this weekend.
Yes.
You
See,
know?
for me, I've always been frugal with subscription. There's people that have 10 subscription. I have had the same 3 subscription, and it's by chance that I got this third, because it would have been 2.
Mhm.
Okay, people. I'm one of those people, like, yo,
Mhm.
no. I
Yep.
am not peer pressure into having the HBO Max and all that. I'm like,
Nope.
if it don't come on the subscriptions that I have,
Then I'm not watching it.
I'm
And a
not
lot of
watching it.
times I'm not even watching TV like that. So, yeah.
Right.
No.
Because the thing
Mm-mm.
is, I feel it's either gonna come out, and I'm okay. I'm one of those people. I'm okay 5 years later if it comes on the subscription that I have.
That's
I'm
fine.
happy to watch it 5 years later.
That's
I don't
fine.
need to be I don't have a fear of missing out on those things.
No, no, and actually what I was doing is looking into is getting rid of a subscription to just because we're on YouTube all the time, right? So
Hmm.
I feel like if I'm gonna pay a subscription for something, I might as well pay it to YouTube
Right, right, right,
because we're
right,
on here all the time. But with that being said, I have to get rid of something else. We
right.
can't just be adding stuff on.
Yes.
So
And
that's
especially if you look at the time that you spend on certain things, and I feel, again, good thing you bought it on YouTube. People half of the time react to all the things that's going on in the world. So I feel like I follow certain influencers. They're gonna react to it if not somebody is. So I feel like By the time I get the recap, I've seen the movie, I've seen the show, so I'm good.
Everything.
I don't need to
Everything.
go.
You don't have to pay for it. You know what I'm saying?
So yeah,
Between the reactions and the coworkers, we don't get to pay
yes,
for it.
me too.
So yeah,
But
matter of fact, I might try to get rid of 2 subscriptions this weekend. I might.
yeah, that's a good thing. I
Yeah.
think for me, the one way that I'm living louder, just in general, is um to just continue to take it day by day. I think, like I showed you guys in the last live, I'm taking this day by day. This year, day by day, doing the things that I said I'm going to accomplish on a weekly basis and a monthly basis, and keeping, like you said, myself accountable to that, and doing everything in my control and letting everything else that I don't control. I might vent about it, but realizing at the end of the day, once I vent about it, I let it go because it's not in my control. I can't.
No.
I
No.
can't. So no, I'm not doing that, and I'm not having it take up free space in my.
No. Mm-mm.
So
No, I mean,
decluttering,
I think you're allowed to allow yourself some time to vent about a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, vent about it. I don't know, take a day or 2, depending on how big it is. Take a day or 2, and then after that, we gotta move on.
Right.
You gotta move on. I mean, I feel like between, I don't know, 1 to 30 days, I think you should be good.
Okay.
Again, it depends on how big it is, but I think
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely a mourning period, and then you got to move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. Let us know how you like this Share Saturday. This might be something that we add to our routine. And if you tell us, oh, no, you don't like it, we might have to re-strategize, but we want to hear from you. Let us know. Again, we're going to try to come almost every Saturday to kind of recap the episode from the week. Go please subscribe, like. You could also go back to our channel where we may attach it here. Go back to Thursday. The episode is fully live on this channel, or again, you can listen on a podcast platform, Apple, Spotify, iHeart. Yeah, subscribe to our channel, like, comment, and share. Help us. Your closest 500 friends, just have all of them like us. We're trying to grow this channel, people.
Yes. Thank you.
We appreciate everybody being on today. Thank you. Bye.
Happy Saturday.